The question is, can prayers change the laws of nature? Can prayer change the weather, heal an illness, or prevent a tragedy or change any events? Or are the laws of nature fixed and cannot be changed? This question is not new, friends. For centuries, theologians, philosophers, and scientists have offered different answers. Some have tried to reconcile prayer with science. Others have argued that belief in prayer affecting physical events is incompatible with the scientific understanding of nature. For example, a philosopher like Anderson, who wrote a lot in the 19th century, suggested that God could answer prayer through natural processes rather than by interrupting them. From this perspective, divine actions doesn't necessarily require a suspension of natural law. What appears to us as a regular event may still become the means that prayer is answered. Anderson also believed that the most important effect of prayer may not always be a change in external circumstances. Instead, he says prayer may transform the person who prays. It may bring more clarity or more courage or more patience or more spiritual insight. In this sense, prayer can change our relationship to a situation even when the situation itself does not change. Some others also have a more skeptical position. They argue that consistency of natural laws makes it unreasonable to believe that prayer can directly change physical outcome. Wakeman, for example, questioned the idea of a God who intervenes in responses to someone's requests. He asked why one prayer be answered and another sincere prayer is not answered. Why natural laws work consistently in one situation, but some other times it is being interrupted. Wakeman was also skeptical of stories presented as evidence of answered prayer. He argued that such accounts are often difficult to verify and may be influenced by coincidence or maybe emotional interpretation. These two 19th century views also shape the modern discussion. One view says that prayer and science can coexist because divine action may happen through natural laws. The other view is that physical events should be explained through causes that one can observe, and the supernatural intervention cannot be scientifically proved. Some other research has done, but from a different angle, asking if prayer changes natural laws and what prayer and meditation and contemplation can do inside the human brain. Andrew Newberg discussed this subject in his book, very interesting book. I highly encourage you to buy and read the book. It's called How God Changes Your Brain. In that book, he writes in summary that says our research team at the University of Pennsylvania has consistently demonstrated that God is part of our consciousness, and that the more you think about God, the more you will alter the neural circuitry in specific parts of our brain. That is why I say, this is according to him, with the utmost confidence that God can change your brain. And it doesn't matter if you are a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim or a Hindu or an even atheist. This statement of Dr. Newberg doesn't scientifically prove the existence of God, and it doesn't show that prayer can overturn the laws of nature. But it suggests that sustained prayer, meditation, and spiritual reflection may influence patterns of brain activity and make some mental and emotional capacities stronger. Areas of the brain associated with attention, emotional regulation, self-awareness, moral reasoning, and religious experience may be affected by a continuous spiritual practice. Prayer may have some measurable effects on the person who prays. It may influence concentration or emotional balance or compassion or self-control and the way a person responds to suffering. Newberg also writes that, I summarize it, he says the human brain is constructed to perceive and generate spiritual realities. That's what he writes. So this statement should be studied carefully. Neuroscience can examine what happens in the brain during prayer or a spiritual experience. It can observe changes in attention, in emotion, perception, and neural activity. But neuroscience alone cannot determine if the spiritual reality experienced by the individual exists independently of the brain. A brain scan can show that a person is experiencing love, but it cannot prove that person they love is unreal. In the same way, observing brain activity during prayer doesn't prove or disprove the existence of God. It only shows that spiritual experience has a neurological dimension. So again, can prayer change the laws of nature, friends? Science has not established that prayer can suspend or change the physical laws governing the universe. Scientific studies have also not produced consistent evidence that prayer directly changes external events in a predictable way. But this may not be the only way to understand the power of prayer. Prayer may work through natural causes. It may influence human decisions. It can inspire compassionate action. It can deepen relationships and transform the way people respond to illness or suffering. A prayer for healing, for example, may lead someone to seek treatment, accept help, or give another person, or develop the courage to endure hardship. None of these responses violates the laws of nature. They occur within nature through consciousness, through relationships or choices and action. Prayer may not always change the world around us in the way we want, but it may change the person who lives in that world. It may replace despair with hope, or confusion with clarity, or resentment with forgiveness, and passivity with action. And finally, when a person is transformed, the consequences may extend far beyond that person.